All right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday, and welcome to another episode of the Omni X-Men, where we break down Chris Claremont's Omnibus that came out recently, the reprint. I'm Justin, aka No Good Comics, and with me, as always, John from John's Comics with Kids. What's up, John?
Man, Tuesdays I go to my LCS. Tuesdays I get to talk X-Men. Come on, best day of the week.
I know, it really is. I mean, and these weeks are flying by. We were just talking about how it's going to be Thanksgiving before you know it. And it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, anytime we land on these evenings, I always look forward to them. And it also is a sign that tomorrow is New Comic Book Day. So that's also exciting for Wednesdays for Marvel. So yeah, man. Looking forward to this issue, breaking this down. We kind of get the ending of where we've been going these past couple issues. So we will definitely dive into that. Before we do, a couple things. One, want to remind everybody, especially if anyone's rewatching the replay, to make sure you pay attention, or if you're here live, stick around because we will be doing questions and we'll talk about the giveaway and so on and so forth that we have set up, down the road and the questions that we'll be doing. So make sure you hang out for that. And let's say hello to the chat. See, we got some tailgaters and people hanging out. PJ, hello. Good to see you. And we got Todd Christian. Good to see you too, Todd. Hello. Beta Ray hanging out here. Nothing can stop the Juggernaut except maybe the Animan. It's very possible. Very possible. What's up, Magic Lasso? Hello. Friendly reminder, yes. The X-Men and the X-Men.
Important distinction there.
Yeah, I actually didn't get a haircut, but I realized I usually wear my hat on these shows. And, I usually have it gelled and I still put a hat on and I left it upstairs. So, but thank you for recognizing. Ruben Guzman. Hello, Ruben. Cowabunga. And we got Comic Book Cuber in the house. Good to see you, my friend. I know a lot of you guys, we have your names on the list already for this raffle, our giveaways. So good to see everybody here. John's got the list. I got mine here. I turned everything digital, so now I have it. Yes, I can just open the app and have it on my notes there. But all right, so good to see everybody. And again, thank you if you guys are watching the replay. We always appreciate you guys checking that out. So John, this was interesting. This was an interesting issue, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What did you think overall? What kind of grade would you give it, and so on and so forth?
It's not one of my favorites. I liked the previous issue. The action was better in the previous issue. The story was a little better in the previous issue. This one has a couple of redeeming qualities. The artwork continues to be pretty solid. I mean, it's hard to argue against Cockrum. I think he's really nailing it. So I would say this is an oddity. There's some odd things happening in this issue. A lot of unresolved stuff that kind of just is let go. So for me, I'd probably give this a lower grade, like an 8, 7.5, 8, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And I definitely have some questions that I thought, or a question anyways, that I thought was kind of odd. I guess there's a couple odd. Yeah, I think odd is, I think you said it perfect, actually, now I think about it. I would say this is definitely one of the weaker issues. Even though there was action, and I do think, as you said, there are definitely some moments that redeem it, and there are some really cool, I guess just cool moments that I enjoyed. But overall, I think it falls in like the 7 range, 7.5. I think obviously the artwork, as you said too, it saves it for sure. You can't go wrong with that. So, but yeah, so I don't know. One thing I learned in this issue is, I guess, the bad guys have feelings too. And that to me was what was one of the big, one of the big eye openers. So I'm sure we'll get into it. You wanna jump into the slideshow here?
Yeah, whatever you like.
We'll bring that up. And
first off, great cover, I gotta say. I mean, you got Juggernaut with a big chunk of the castle. You got Storm booty shot flying through the air. Nightcrawler climbing. Banshee swinging his way up. Black Tom Cassidy blasting off a little shot there. I dig this. the angle of this, I dig it.
Yeah, I love anytime like someone can like use an object as their weapon, and for him to just take a piece of the wall and just just start chucking things. It's like, yeah, it's a pretty cool cover.
Yeah, very cool. Digging that for sure. So we left off with a cliffhanger. Mutants versus Juggernaut. Juggernaut wins. I will say this is one of my least favorite panels in this issue. The angles of this, I don't know where Wolverine's other leg is. It looks like he's on top of Juggernaut's arm in some ways, but other ways he doesn't. I don't know what's happening with Colossus's legs here. This is a very odd battle sequence overall.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, reminder of where we were, I suppose.
Yeah, I do kind of skip these little some of the flashbacks. I kind of really skim through as I get into the, especially if you just read the other one.
Oh yeah, we're right. I remember where we left off. I'm getting into that. Then I really looked at the artwork and I was like, this is screwy, man. This is just screwy here. Hello, Chet. Thank you for coming by, man.
Hello.
Doesn't have this one signed.
Awkward. Hashtag awkward.
This is an awkward moment. We're just going to act like we didn't hear that.
I was to say I was just looking for.
You're reading it raw or something. Next.
I was looking for I thought I had a copy, and apparently I don't have a copy of this one. So yeah, that's I'm with you there, Chet.
It is raw. It's somewhat lower grade. It's had a life, but the colors are still vibrant.
Yeah, nice.
That's all that matters. It's alive.
Yep.
So after they give us our little reminder, we have the leprechauns. Yeah. I will say the leprechauns are the greatest, not necessarily in the sense of like really good, but in the size of largeness. They are the greatest oddity in this last few issues. As far as I remember, they never explain why there's leprechauns or what they're doing here or their point and purpose. We're in Ireland. There's leprechauns. Suck it.
Yep.
It's kind of the whole point here.
Yeah, that was definitely took me for a loop when we ended the last issue, and it's just like, and yeah, I think as you said, like, no, I don't think they ever followed up with it. I don't know if maybe Chet knows any more information about this, but
I as far as I know, they never go back to these guys, and probably for good reason. But yeah, we get this fun panel where they're carrying Nightcrawler. I dig the angle. I dig the writing on the wall behind them and the torchlight going. So this panel redeemed the previous one. And then they go and explain that, Eamon O'Donnell, the seneschal of the castle, is the one behind rescuing Nightcrawler from the Juggernaut. And so there's this crew sort of behind the walls of the castle trying to overthrow Black Tom. Yeah.
Yep. And we learn... and it's Eamon, right? Is his name Eamon?
Is it Eamon? Yeah, Eamon.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we're kind of finding out like the deal as to why he was kind of helping in the beginning, right? Lead them to the trap.
Yeah, which I think is some of this too, where he's talking about the hostages, and very subtly they bring back Eric the Red. By having Juggernaut's shoulder blocking his face, as if we would be confused as to who that could possibly be.
Yeah, like the shadow they got there too.
Oh my god, hilarious! It's very James Bondy, let's pet the cat kind of thing.
Yeah.
On the leprechauns, he says we never see them again because Lucky made it big. There you go. That's it. So yeah, apparently there were locals in the town who've been taken hostage, and including the staff of the castle and the leprechauns.
Beats me.
So there you go. Eric the Red is back, and then we get this. Nightcrawler has new powers, which I also feel like they never explain this.
Yeah, I was lost, man. I thought I was misreading it. I don't know. I didn't.
I tried to read it over 2 or 3 times. The leprechauns are like, hey, did you notice you kind of vanished when you were in the shadows? And they're like, your face does this like all black thing sometimes. It just vanishes. And then he's like, but I've never seen it in the shadow. And then he goes and stands in the shadows and just see his eyes. I don't know if they explain it as an evolution of his powers or something about the castle or what, but this is another big time oddity for me that doesn't really serve any purpose except later on when he uncuffs Banshee.
Yeah, I noticed that his half of his body in I think the ending of the last episode or last issue had him kind of what looked to be invisible, but I didn't, I just thought, oh, that's how he drew it up or whatever. Like, I didn't think that was actually going to be a thing. And then when we get to this issue, it's like, yeah, no. And it's not even the leprechauns that are doing it. It's so, I don't know if, like you said, maybe it is, maybe it has to do with the castle. I don't know.
I get the feeling that it's got to be the castle and Nightcrawler something, because I don't know that it ever comes up again in the history of the character. It's like, again, another one of those issue 103 oddities.
Right. Like they didn't, maybe they weren't sure where they want to go with the character still. And
test driving him be able to be invisible. I don't know. Which it's funny, he would never have noticed that before.
Oh, he says it comes up more in later issues, the Nightcrawler power to blend into dark areas.
All right. Well, there you go.
Interesting.
And then, of course, they get run to be some guy comes running and tell them, heck, the X-Men are in the laboratory. Although he's probably saying laboratory. And we jump quickly to another issue, another laboratory bondage scene.
Yeah, this was, I thought this was like a cool splash scene to just like show this urgency of like, hey, quick, come look. And then you just get hit with this, like, I just found it kind of interesting and cool to see how each of the X-Men were strapped down in one way, shape, or form based on, obviously their powers and stuff. And so you see Banshee with this strange, neck face mask thing, protecting from COVID, and then you have Wolverine with his claws all covered up and even his shoulder and everything, so he can't wiggle out in any way like he did the last time that he was strapped up. So they learned something there. And Colossus just floating. I get this anti-gravity type thing, which is I guess that would be the only way to really stop that man is to have him suspended in air. And then Storm, she's got like these electric, this stuff that's like kind of controlling her, her storm powers, I guess, and really funky thing around her neck and everything. So yeah, I thought it was a cool scene.
It cracks me up, and it's almost like they saw what happened in issue 100, and they're like, they're like, okay, wait, I got a better system now. We've upgraded,
pretty much. And then you got the weird claw too that Tom's wearing there.
Yeah, he goes into the glove and the torture device. I didn't save those little bits, but yeah, he tries to torture Storm with this magic glove he's got that will psychologically harm her, but not physically harm her.
Some good technology there.
Yeah, and again, no explanation as to why they're doing this and what the connection to Eric the Red is and what Eric the Red wants. He's blown up airports to try to get our X-Men. He's now captured them in a castle to get. No explanation. I'm just assuming later on Eric the Red comes back in a big way, and we're just like, dang, this guy's really Machiavellian behind the scenes. So what are you going to do? So this sequence is pretty epic. So we've seen Nightcrawler use this image altering tool from the Stark Corporation to change his outward appearance. This is the first time he's used it to disguise himself as somebody we already know in the comic. So now he's pretending to be Xavier. I don't know where the wheelchair came from, but he got a prop. And then he goes about basically taunting his stepbrother and goading him into just destroying this facility. It's pretty phenomenal.
That's a really great point about the prop. I didn't even question that until now.
They have it's a castle. There's wheelchairs everywhere.
Yeah, I guess that works for me.
Throw it into the oddities category. It's fine.
I love that that they use this idea finally, knowing that he had this this ability thanks to Stark's machine thing or whatever, to be able to change into someone, like you said, someone that we now know. Kind of surprised it didn't work out sooner. So it's cool that they can do that. And I wonder if we see this again later on. I'm not sure, but I did like that idea, but the prop thing, that's a good point. I didn't I didn't really think twice about it.
And then Black Tom saying, something's wrong here. I thought you said he was a cripple. The fact that Juggernaut, it's his stepbrother, he's like, it's definitely him. I'm going to pound the daylights out of this guy, even though he's flipping and jumping over me.
He doesn't question it at all.
No questioning it. Just going to lay into him. So good. So good. Let's see. This continues a little bit more because Black Tom starts shooting at him, and Juggernaut's had enough, and Juggernaut destroys the wall of the castle in a fantastic way. And for me, this was, I don't know if this was Nightcrawler's overall plan, but this definitely works. Destroying the wall, too, for me, I feel like I wanted to see a tiny Juggernaut flying through the air there, because I don't know how you do that much damage and don't like launch yourself out of the castle at the same time, but whatever.
Yeah, and is that a gun, or what is that? A pistol that he shoots that makes this? Yeah.
Black Tom is using his cane. So like magic weapon cane thing that blasts. It has energy blasts, and I want to say it's a mutant power that charges the device. But if Chet knows more detail, I'm sure he'll give it to us.
Okay. Yeah, he's a character.
It's a cane that he's always carrying around, but it's like one of those mini canes. It's not like you'd use it as a device. It's like it's not a walking cane so much as like a good day fancy cane.
Right.
For his pop collar and his deep V.
I got to get me one of those.
Right. So the wall gets busted out, and of course, Storm can see the sky. And then they're like, the witch, what's she doing? Questions. Just, I don't know what she's doing. She's got weather powers, and maybe she's using those. I don't know. It is his power, says Chet. So it is his mutant ability. The weapon shoots through the cane. There you go.
Okay.
See? That's how I thought I remembered it, but I don't know a ton about Black Tom Cassidy, the pirate mutant. This is my favorite panel, of course.
Yep.
Storm whips the whole room of them outside. I love Wolverine's like, you got it, Rusky, taking the big wins, taking us out of here. He's like, Wolverine seems pumped on this whole thing.
Yeah.
Colossus is like, I don't know what's going on. Of course, somebody has to call Wolverine a midget. And Storm says, free, gods of the earth and air be praised, I am free. Anything you say, lady, but what's about putting Petey and I down? Oh, that just cracks me up.
So good.
I think they're all just having quite a ride in the Storm Hurricane. But I love it. I love the energy of it. I love the waves crashing down below. I dig this panel.
Yeah, they're cool backgrounds too. I wanted to ask you if, and maybe you have this. Did you create a MVP panel for tonight?
I believe I did. Yes.
Okay. Because I'm curious. There were little bits and pieces where I could see a couple of the different.
A lot of options. Yeah. This was a harder pick because no one person does it. This is the team in a lot of ways working together. So I almost went with team, but I ended up picking somebody else. It's Storm. Yeah. Mostly because of this moment. Not only does she rescue them and then just dump them on the ground.
Here you go.
She flies down and the guys are arguing. Come on, big fella, get these boots off. It's no use. They're made out of a metal even I can't break. May I help, gentlemen? Look, if Colossus can't break them, what do you think you can do? In my time, Wolverine, I was the best lockpicker in all of Cairo. But we'll talk about that later once we've rescued our friends.
That's so good.
She's full leader now. Like, she's gone from complete mental breakdown to I'm in charge. Get out of the way. I don't need you guys. Here, let me fix everything for everybody.
Yep.
So that's what won me over. Of course, I'm happy to pick Storm as the MVP every week. But that's.
I mean, she has been kicking butt like every single week. I mean, it really is just like a very consistent thing with her character. At least these past like 5-6 episodes or issues, I feel like it's really been like that. I love Wolverine's face when she does undo the shackle. He's just like, oh.
He's so surprised.
Yeah.
And then she's just like off. She's like, I'm going to take off. And the Juggernaut and Black Tom threaten to throw Banshee off the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, it's a trap. What about Nightcrawler? We can't just stand here and watch. And and then she's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, she says, very well then, if Black Tom wishes us to fight for Banshee's freedom, fight we shall, as only the X-Men can. And then she's like, wait, you dumb broad, come back here. You've been charged up there alone, you get yourself killed. For crying out loud, lady, how are we supposed to follow you, huh? And then Colossus is like, Wolverine, I told you never to call Storm abroad again, and I meant it. Happy landings. And he just chucks him.
And he throws him too far, doesn't he? He's like,
he throws him too far and in the wrong direction. It's all amazing.
It's like another fastball, a curveball special, we'll call it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just hey! And then, of course, he climbs the wall himself with digging in and climbing his way up. Pretty awesome. And somehow Juggernaut focuses on that. Like, never mind the guy with the claws who's over on that tower, or the girl with the storm powers who just flew up here. That guy way down there climbing the rock wall. I'm going to get that guy. Hey, you do you, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
Lockpicker and Cairo. Next instance is they mentioned it in X-Men 113. There you go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Midget is fine. Yeah, apparently, you can call people midget. It's no big deal. Actually, I think it was Juggernaut this time calling Wolverine a midget. So it was the bad guy.
No, true.
Oh. Sorry, should we keep going here? Let's see.
Yeah.
So these were some great panels too. Storm versus the lasers, Colossus versus Juggernaut, and parts of that cover was legit. This is legit, the inside of this issue.
Yep.
Juggernaut ripping chunks of the castle and throwing them down. Colossus trying to block them and climb at the same time. Storm fighting off lasers.
Yeah, this castle, well equipped. I don't know.
No explanation as to who retrofitted this ancient castle with lasers, but hey.
Like, it's a very high-tech weapon that's there right now. And the roof opens, like the whole ceiling opens up. Like, yeah, that's good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. More oddities. This castle is full of oddities. And I don't know if maybe Eric the Red did it. Maybe Eric funded Black Tom's renovations. Perhaps. Who knows? When he was busy blowing up airports, he was also funding this renovation.
Yeah.
So this is hilarious to me. I legitimately was having a conversation in my LCS with my LCS owner about this tonight. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm talking about issue 103 tonight. It's like, that's the first issue where they tell you Logan or Wolverine's name is Logan. And my LCS owner was like, really? That's the first time? I was like, yeah, a leprechaun told us. I don't know why a leprechaun knows Wolverine's real name, but the leprechaun knows Wolverine's name.
Yep.
I don't know if he's been out drinking with leprechauns and gotten so drunk he doesn't remember it, or if his brain from the adamantium transfer made him forget that he'd met leprechauns and told them his name. I just can't wrap my brain around why a leprechaun knows this.
I think it's the former. They were probably out drinking.
He just got so blottoed he forgot he told the leprechaun his name.
Yeah, that sounds very accurate, if anything. So I love his face there too, Wolverine in the middle panel.
It's the look he has for this whole issue, basically.
Yeah. And I love how he's like trying to help him, and Wolverine's just like giving him crap about it and doesn't want to deal with him or listen to him.
Right?
He's like, you coming or not?
And TJ both say this castle has a Doom-like quality.
Oh yeah.
Doom's architectural school, summer home. Yeah, it's legit.
Very, very true. Oh, psychic
leprechauns.
There it is.
So this is probably the biggest oddity in a book full of oddities, is the fact that just almost for no reason, a leprechaun shows up and says, "Hey there, Mr. Logan." And then he's like, "How do you know my name?" "I'm called Patrick, mate, and we little people know a lot of things." And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much that's it.
Yep.
There's no logical reason why a leprechaun has to be the one that knows this. But now we all know it. So now the audience is aware.
Yeah. Hey, Bear Island. Hello. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. So this was hilarious to me. I was laughing a ton.
Yeah.
Rereading this, I mean, I knew this issue was famous for this. I just forgot how bonkers it was.
It's really out there. And we're not even to the big ending.
Well, I know you were a big fan of that for sure. So he leads Wolverine back to the fight, and this is some of the better stuff. Justin's panels of the week. You want to dive into this sequence here?
Yeah, so I really like this because I mean it's like part of the big comeback scene. And we get to see Banshee doing his thing when he gets released there. Thanks to Nightcrawler. And made a good point that you can't charge at us if we take the ground out from under you, and he completely blows up the ground underneath Juggernaut there as you see him falling. And then I really like this last panel here on the bottom right. It was just a cool like scene of the team coming together as Juggernaut thinks he's going to get up and like, I can still take you guys out. But then you see them and how they're working as a team and like, you got to take us all. Like it almost made me think of like the Avengers Endgame scene with like all the different team members coming. And I'm like, oh, this is where you cue the music right here. You got to cue the Endgame music because everybody just standing at the top of the stairs like that was just epic.
Yep.
So I just thought that was a really, if you were really into the story, that was a really powerful moment, to recognize for the team being together like that. And it
bleeds into the next page here when you have Banshees and his brother fighting, and they get like swords and axes and stuff. But they do this split panel where you can see the new team versus Juggernaut while Banshee is fighting his brother. I like the balance of that bottom panel a ton.
Totally, they did a great job with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Great storytelling.
Yeah. So again, you get swords and axes and brother fighting brother, and then Juggernaut, Colossus, and Wolverine going down. And somehow Storm disappeared for this little bit, but she's still keeping the rain going.
Well, they never showed. Did they show her take out the missile, the laser gun?
She took out a few of the lasers, but she's in this panel, the previous one, right there. She's landing right behind them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So she's there at the top of the stairs, but then maybe she's keeping the storm going. I don't know.
She's like, peace out. And she goes away.
So good fighting going on, which leads to I think your favorite part. And I said Juggernaut has a big heart for a douchebag.
Yeah. It really like I forgot how this ended. This being my second time around reading this, and I do remember questioning like what did happen to Juggernaut and Black Tom.
How did they defeat him this time?
Yeah, I'm like I really couldn't remember. So like I'm like okay, cool. Like I'm gonna reread this and really get the answer. And it's this where we get the brothers going or the cousins going at it, and Tom goes flying off the edge thanks to Banshee. And falls, into this whirlwind of water in the ocean, and we get Juggernaut screaming out for Tom. He kind of just stops what he's doing and is really hurt by that. I mean, they hurt his feelings for doing that, and he talks about how Tom's his only friend, right? Is that the text there?
He basically says, Tom, out of my way, you costume clowns. And Wolverine's like, look out, and then he says, hold on, Tom, I'm coming. He's the only friend I ever had, X-Men. And so help me, if you've killed him, I'll make you pay.
and that's it.
That's it.
I was like, so this whole time, they just had to do something to Tom. And Juggernaut, I mean, Wolverine could have grabbed Tom and put his blades to his neck and could have just been like, hey, Juggy, just relax over there or else we're going to take out your best buddy. And, so that just proves that, information is key. And, and Juggernaut, he has a heart. Yes, he has a big heart.
Absolutely. Yeah, poor Juggy. How easily Juggernaut swats away the X-Men when he's mad. Exactly.
Yeah, I was let down, man. It's definitely Beta says let's see him do that to the Animan.
Not possible. Yeah, not possible. I think compared to the issue before this, 102 has this great Colossus Juggernaut in a couple of rounds, and I think this was definitely a step down significantly.
Yep. Yeah, bit of a letdown that battle scene there.
Yeah, for sure. So then, Storm fixes the weather, makes a rainbow, it looks like, with like pastel light from the sky and pink clouds and everything's back to normal, except down at the bottom. We have someone mysterious in red who I don't know who that person could be. Yet again, talking to some other nefarious person on a computer screen. I'd see Magneto in the background as well. And they're making more deadly plans. But this seems interesting, connected to possibly all these visions that Xavier's been having.
Yeah, starting to put some pieces together, and it looks like Magneto's gonna get involved as well. It really seems they're all puppets, though, in a way.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, at this point, okay, I remember. Yeah, so yeah, Magneto in the next. Yeah, okay, that's a big issue.
It's all coming back. You said that about puppets, and I thought of Blazing Saddles when he says, "Mongo just pawn in great game of life."
I love that movie.
That's Juggernaut really in this issue.
Oops.
Juggernaut just pawn in great game of life.
Hey, Jackson Roy Kirk.
Hello. California Blend was in the chat.
Oh yes, Gabby. Hello.
Hi, Gabby.
Look how easily Juggernaut swats. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. That was definitely a letdown. But yeah, this ending panel here definitely, it helps keep it going. And even though this little battle scene has kind of ended, we know that there's some bigger battles to come. So
absolutely. More Eric the Red and other bizarre oddities in our future.
Yeah, man, this is a strange issue, man. Altogether,
absolutely. One of the strangest I think I've read in a long time.
I'm still laughing about the prop, the wheelchair prop. That's
glad I can point out something that maybe people would overlook.
Yeah. Oh, Lasso asks if there's no Jean update in this issue, and
no Cyclops and no Jean, no actual Xavier, just the Nightcrawler version.
Yeah.
All right, so that takes us to our facts for this issue. First time Wolverine is called Logan by leprechauns. First cameo appearance of Decken. I honestly forgot who that guy was. I was like, wait, that's the Lilandra relation that's trying to keep her from power and stop her from making contact with the X-Men. Okay. Wait, so that guy on the computer monitor talking to Eric the Red is Decken Nerimani.
Is that noted on CGC slabs?
I have no idea if they note that. It was mentioned on the Key Collector app and on several other sites. They mentioned his name, which I would not have been able to give you his name. No way.
Interesting. Yeah, me
neither. I would have said Lilandra's, I don't remember if it's brother or whatever.
Right.
Although I'm calling everybody brothers, and I guess the Cassidys are cousins. You keep telling me. I keep forgetting.
I would love if the first key element that you have listed there was on slabs. That would be great.
Right? If they don't mention the leprechauns, kind of don't care.
Yeah, no.
I wanted to throw in too that it wasn't until Origin, which came out in the early 2000s, that Wolverine's real name was revealed to be James. So his name is James Howlett, or that's his birth name, the name he was, his Christian name, and later just went by Logan. So that quite a few decades later, we got another name for him. No leprechauns this time.
Chet says her brother. You're right.
Okay, it is brother. That's what I thought. I'm calling everybody's brothers tonight, so there you go. This is a reasonably inexpensive book, and it might just be the oddities. A 9.8 goes for just under $700.
Wow.
A 9.6 goes for $230, which means we're getting closer to a 2 to 3 range, which is a little more normal.
Yeah.
I think last week we had the same reality. So I think it's really the first 7-8 issues that are hyper expensive. These are more maybe normalized. Although I know that I Got Issues was talking about rarity versus scarcity a little bit with some of these. The idea that, a Hulk 181, the jump between 9.8 and 9.6 might be a slightly lower percentage, but the dollar amount increase is what's shocking versus the percent increase for some of these is more shocking.
Right.
Low to mid grades, you're talking $20, $50 for some low to mid grade copies of this book. Slabbed. Percentages, there are a lot of 9.4s or more 9.4s considerably. There are as many 9.4s slabbed as there are 9.8s and 9.6s combined, basically.
Okay.
So there's only about 63 there are exactly 63 9.8s on the CGC census. There are 148 9.6s and 205 9.4s. So the lion's share are in that 9.4 range. So yeah, most of them are in that range, right in there, as far as the slabbed copies, because not a lot of people slab the lower grade ones anyway.
Right.
And Todd, you get a lot of lower grades.
Todd brought up the Origin series. He said he really liked it.
I do too. Jenkins. Yeah, I think the artwork is solid. I think the story ideas were well laid out. No leprechauns. I think all of those things make it pretty good for me.
If it's signed, it's ridiculous. It's always if it's signed, it's ridiculous.
Sure, yeah, and if it's a Stan Lee signature like our boy Chet likes, then that's going to be even more experience. Everything with that signature is going to blow through the roof.
Damn, he doesn't have 104 or 106 signed either. Yet. He says yet. That's a good point.
He's adding ... yet, right?
Yep. They're getting out of the way, working on it.
There you go.
Nice.
So that's it for us on this old issue here. X-Men 103.
Nice. Interesting issue, man. It was, definitely. Again, I wish there was a little bit more to that ending, a little bit more of a, I don't know, just him diving off to save his best friend. But I don't know.
It is one of the more odd issues of X-Men, and as a result, a harder one to really just dive in and enjoy. But still entertaining nonetheless. But lesser of the issues we've read so far for sure.
Yeah. But at least we know it's setting up for something big. And obviously there's just that bigger picture overall. Still haven't resolved the headaches that Professor X has been dealing with. Jean is still in the hospital. So there's a lot of question marks still that will be answered. I imagine soon.
Definitely.
So on that note, you want to jump into some of our questions? Anybody that's hanging out here, you guys know the deal.
And you have the time left to sing a song or the greatest hit from the Supremes for us. No, we're going to do some trivia for you, which I have a feeling we'll hear about some Supremes as we go along. The issue is sponsored by Lucky Charms.
I like that.
She does come back great in this issue. He liked to write Storm the most. Well, it shows Storm and Nightcrawler come across in great ways, although Colossus does as well. All three of them have been pretty strong, in my opinion.
Definitely.
So I got a couple of questions about last week's episode. If you were with us or watched, my first question is about Storm. Make sure you type your questions your answers in the chat. The first two correct answers get scorecard points. The first answer also gets a raffle ticket entry. So you want to make sure you type, and if you see a correct answer, you can reply on top of that one and copy and paste. We're going to do at some point down there when we get deep into this Omni or close to the end, maybe even of this Omni, we'll do a raffle and giveaway of Omnibus Volume 2 and an X-Men mystery box as well. She is hot. She is amazing.
Yep.
Storm is flawless on every level.
Agreed.
So my question was, for Storm, her parents, when we first meet them in last issue, are in which New York City borough? I was unaware of that until rereading this recently. I did not realize that her family had lived in New York City, but in which borough of New York were they living? So that came as news to me when I read the issue. I was like, I didn't remember that. I just assumed they had lived all their lives in Africa. So
same.
Was unaware.
This will be
news.
This will be interesting because there's only so many answers. So people in the
Yeah.
chat.
You could guess, I guess, different places, but it looks like we already got our answers because Magic Lasso is correct.
Oh,
First answer. So Magic Lasso gets the raffle entry and two points.
nice.
And then Chet came in second. So Chet gets a bonus point. And Kavi's apartment says TJ. So TJ gets the comedy point. It came from Kavi's apartment. Acceptable answer. Acceptable comedic answer.
I like that, TJ.
So yeah, they were in Harlem in 1951, I think is what they said.
Yep.
And then they were going back to Africa, where then they got into the collapsed building claustrophobia.
Thanks to the plane, which now I'm realizing that's another destructed plane that was destroyed on in an X-Men issue.
He doesn't like planes, maybe aircraft. He's got a fear of air travel.
Yeah, and when I meet Claremont, that's going to be my first question, and then I'm going to ask where Nightcrawler got the prop from. That was going to be my.
Where did he get the wheelchair? Is that like going to a Star Trek convention and asking what deck do they? William Shatner, what deck do they keep the beryllium crystals? I don't know that.
Just Storm Powders, perhaps.
Maybe she's a big fan.
All right. My first question of the night is going to be, who was the other person that was visiting Jean Grey at the hospital other than Professor X and Cyclops in last issue's storyline? There was a scene with Jean Grey being visited in the hospital by Professor X, Cyclops, and there was a third person there, and it was that person's first time in a crossover of an X-Men book.
Beta Ray. Beta Ray slays me. Beta Ray gets the comedy point.
Wait, so this
Gutenberg.
Did we get Roy Kirk?
Jackson Roy Kirk with the correct answer. The raffle ticket and the 2 points go to you, sir.
Nice.
And then I saw Magic Lasso second.
Yep.
All right. It is Misty Knight, who is an awesome character that is very underappreciated and was really cool in the Absolute Carnage tie-ins. If you guys were a big Absolute Carnage fans, that was one of the cooler tie-ins.
All right, John, what's your second question?
So for my next question, I will accept two different answers: either the issue number that I'm asking for, or the significance of the issue. Why is this issue important? Either one of those things, because some people might not know the exact number of the issue. They might know the significance of the issue. So just a little disclaimer. Last week we had a guest. Brandon of Comics Kings had a Daredevil slab behind him, and I'm asking, what issue was it? He had a Daredevil slab behind him, and you know me, I love a good Daredevil book. Which issue did he have behind him? Hello, Boy Who Had Seven. Matt is in the chat.
He even showed it too. He showed it off.
He did. It was a great book. I'm very jealous. My copy is not nearly that nice.
What's up, Matt?
So you can tell me the issue number. Or you can tell me the significance of the book. It was not Daredevil 4. Are you bidding? Maybe he's bidding.
Yeah, chat. We have Lasso in the chat.
Yep, Lasso beat you just by a hair, my good man.
Yep. Oh, we need the issue number.
I see one person who got the correct answer.
Oops. Man, my
what?
My chat is delayed, I feel like.
I'm just waiting for a second person to get that bonus point, although I do see Magic Lasso with the comedy. So Magic Lasso, that would be a great issue, firstly. And the second point goes to the Boy Who Had Seven. So it was Chet and then the Boy Who Had Seven.
Nice.
So Chet gets the raffle ticket. It was the first appearance of Bullseye, which is Daredevil 131. Boy Who Had Seven. Let's see here. Maddie.
All right, so Chet is on the board again.
And the boy on 7 just jumped onto the list here. I don't think I have him on here anywhere. So
Nice.
boom, Matt, you're in the running for an X-Men mystery box from me. Yes, it was issue 131. My guess is whatever TJ says Bear Island. That's good rules to live by.
It's a good strategy. All right. My second question is, this is good because these you had to have seen the episode last week. My question is, what logo was on my shirt from last episode? And the hint is that it is a comic related logo.
Curious.
Always good to pay attention to our t-shirts and what's on our walls behind us. You never know when that'll be tied into a question. And anyone that's looking it up, it's on John's YouTube channel.
On my channel. Sorry.
Don't go back to my last one.
You gotta go all the way over to my channel. Travel. Ooh, I wear that Mark Jewelers one sometimes, Lasso. That is one of my favorites. Very comfy. Although I will say that easily the most comfortable comic book community shirt I've ever owned is the Reggie Collects comic book Swolger shirt. This is just comfy. It fits perfectly. I love this shirt. I could wear this shirt every single day. If I had like 10 of them, I probably would. This is an amazing shirt.
These answers are pretty good.
The King Joffrey shirt is a great one. The 9.4 Strawberry Shortcake comedy win, and I see somebody else got their raffle ticket entry. Let's see, Lasso with another comedy point. Is that who it was? Yeah. No, that was Beta Ray Jim. Sorry, Beta Ray Jim with the comedy point.
Beta coming in clutch with the comedy.
Yes, he is. So I saw one correct answer so far.
Yeah, I see one so far.
Just waiting for the second correct answer there.
Somebody to copy and paste.
Yeah, but they don't know which one to copy and paste. They don't know. Boom.
Oh, there we go. All right, so we got Matt on the board, and Matt, that's the first time I have you in the in my raffle.
Yep.
So very cool on that. And then we have Gabby to follow up, and I don't know if she's been on the board yet either. John, on yours.
So no, she's new on the list here for the X-Men mystery box, and my boy Matt from the Boy Wed 7. You just got a raffle ticket, an entry in the Could You Win the Omnibus Volume 2 Claremont book.
Nice.
Boom.
Nice. Good stuff.
It was the Marvel t-shirt. Yeah. It just had the red Marvel logo across the center.
Yep. Can you all right, so as you mentioned, that's what the raffle is going to be. The giveaway is volume 2 of this great omnibus tie-in that we're doing. But John, can you just show off the early gift that you, or not gift, but the early book that you got?
I went into my LCS today and they had volume 2 already there. Boom.
You lucky duck.
Beauty. And they only got one, and they didn't even post it or anything. He's like, I knew you wanted it, so I just they set it aside for me. This goes through issue 153. So it starts with issue 132 and goes through 153, but it also includes a ton of Marvel fanfares. It includes the Avengers Annual 10, which is the first appearance of Rogue. So it's got a bunch of great additional material besides the whole Dark Phoenix saga that we all know and love. Lots of great stuff, including Bear Island's favorite Doctor Doom and Storm cover.
Yep. That is awesome.
So that's volume 2 that it just drops this month. Volume 3 drops in December. Volume 4 drops in March.
Man, they're just throwing them all out there. We're gonna have to make sure I'm ready for these next couple. Gonna have to figure out a way to get this number 2 coming out. Maybe it had to do with the pandemic. Maybe they delayed things or something.
PJ, I did remember reading that there was a Wolverine omnibus. They're doing like the one that's going to have the limited series and the regular series, and then there's a volume 2. Yeah, I read that.
That's cool.
Big omnibus unboxing. Ooh, I will definitely go check that out. Beta Ray Jim. I know where I'm going, man.
Nice. Beta's got quite the collection of Omnis from what I remember.
I have a huge collection myself. Here they are.
It's pretty big. It's double what I have. So
Get the omnibus grade and do not read it. Come on, Chet. Now you're just talking crazy.
yeah, now you're talking crazy, man.
Come on. Yeah, these are the only Omnis I plan on buying. Is this as many of these Claremont ones as they publish? I'll buy. I've so enjoyed. I mean, I got to say, I told Justin last time when we were off air, like I've been so enjoying this show. I've been collecting X-Men for a really long time. I finished the run, and then this omnibus came out, and it was like all this kismet kind of together. And then Justin gets one, and he says he wants to reread it, and it all came together to do this really fun program. And then all of you in the chat who've been hanging with us each week, it's just been a really great experience. And I'm not going to get too emotional about it, but it's made the joy of collecting this run and rereading it, which is the whole point of this, is just good story and spending time sharing good story with friends. So it's really made this special. And I will stretch the spine. Beta Ray Jim taught me how to do that. And I had Charlie doing it on the drive home from the shop.
There you go.
She had it laying flat in her lap and was sort of like, do a few on this side, then open. Oops, see, I can't do it with one hand. Then do pages on the other side and stretching.
So wait a second. So, well, first of all, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying here, John. This has been so much fun breaking down each and every issue with you, and re-exploring this, and me still being very new to this. I'm just loving every moment of it and relearning things as I go, which has been very helpful. Secondly, we talked, I think it was the very first episode. Didn't we talk about the stretching the spine, or I had questions of, I remember seeing that somewhere. Did Beta ever say anything in that? I don't remember. Maybe he wasn't there.
He mentioned some things in the chat, and I think he sent a link to a video, or said search online. So I ended up finding some things on it. And Jackson Roy Kirk says, so glad he found out about it. And basically just the idea that if I'm doing it wrong, please correct me.
It's like completely wrong.
Yeah, right. You set it on a flat surface, right? And you open a front cover, and then you open the back cover, and then you take a few pages in the front, a few pages in the back, and you just sort of go through it little by little, gently opening it. I'm ready to see slabbed Omnis, no stretching needed. Get it pressed. And just a little by little, a handful of pages at a time. And if you do that every time you open it, it will gently stretch the spine, and you won't get any splitting or cracking.
That I did each individual page when I got mine, and I wasn't sure if I was doing it right or not, but what you just said, I did. And I literally went page by page. I don't know if I'm crazy for doing that. You could like tell like it was still kind of sticking together, the ink, when you're peeling it.
Well,
it was kind of a cool.
I fanned the pages too to keep them from sticking.
Oh, good.
I did a quick fan, and then I set it and went bit by bit.
Good idea.
But I mean, they also say take the dust jacket off whenever you're going to read it. Store like you've got yours off. I sadly have not been as good about that.
Yep. Oh, so, this is
Mutant Uprising.
Yeah, good to see you, Theo. Good to see you. I wanted to say, look for, this is where I think I saw it, near mint condition. I think is where I saw them break that down and explain the whole page by page thing. Is I was flipping through YouTube one day, so that was very helpful. Yeah, good call, Roy Kirk, on that one. So yeah, John, make sure you stretch out that second volume there, and I'll do the same once I get mine. But yeah, good stuff, man. This has been a great episode, even though there were some really odd things. I was cracking up through a majority of this issue, so it brought some good laughter, which is always good. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Juggernaut, he's a bit of a softie, which I have no problem with. We all have really great friends, and we get sad if we, if someone tries to threaten them, or if they, don't want to lose their friends. So, I think that showed a different side to Juggernaut. But yeah, Todd says, I really like I just clicked the wrong thing. Really like that some of the Omnis have the letter pages. Yeah, that's a good point. And something I've been dabbling, flipping through some of those, because I do enjoy reading the letter pages and just getting an idea of like the time, like that was the time then, and kind of the people's excitement you could just kind of tell just from reading. Totally. So those are cool. Yeah, I mean,
Chat's comment here too. He says, being real, there was a time when I was the only kid who knew of the X-Men. It's so fun to relive all these stories with like-minded dudes. I totally agree. And one of the things that connected me to I don't mean to keep bringing up Reggie Collects, but when he first started doing videos, one of the things I loved about him was that he kept bringing this idea of like what he liked about the social media side of comics is it's very different than most of social media. And it was about taking a very isolating hobby, which is collecting. It's this like hoarding Gollum-like thing, and instead making it very social. And it took that moment in the shop when you had all these great conversations and extended that. And I think that's always been the thing I loved about this community, and finding, like Chet said, like-minded dudes to share thoughts. And even if you're disagreeing about stuff, I think it's a great issue. I think it's a horrible issue. It's still a fun conversation that you can't have with the average person probably in your life.
Right. Yeah, they share the same passions. It's definitely, that's what's great about the community in general. Oh, there you go. He's been selling a lot of the floppies in hopes that one day he can grab the Omnis. It's a good move. Could be a good move. Takes up a lot of space, but could be a good move. It looks really cool on a wall if you have a whole shelf of them. But yeah, no, that's the only thing I'm missing. Oh, that's right, the Epic collections. Yeah, I've seen some.
Yeah, I have a few of the. I've been trying to get the X-Men Age of Apocalypse has Epic collection. There's I think 4 of those. I got the first 2. Nice. Trying to get those Epic collections, and yeah, I agree. No letter pages. Yeah, kind of a bummer.
Kind of a trade-off there.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, good stuff, man. This was fun. Yeah, we got another great episode coming up. I want to remind everybody that next week we'll be back on John's YouTube channel, so make sure you guys sub him up. Obviously, I think most of you already are well familiar with him, but anybody that might be watching the replay, so hopefully we'll see you guys in the chat next week, 9:00 on his channel. And yeah, just make sure you study the crap out of this episode so that you have answers for next week, because you just don't know. You don't know what we might be asking. So until then, great stuff. And John, any last words here?
I've got a video dropping on Thursday on my channel, my look at next week. So you can that's a 3:45 my time, 6:45 Eastern live premiere. I've got to reload it because it didn't load quite right, but I'll drop that. I got a couple shows tomorrow, obviously. Next week we're back. We're going to take the week of Thanksgiving off. So just as a reminder, that issue 105 show will not run on that Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. We'll probably push a week just to spend a little more time with family and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
good call.
Something to think about.
Also, shout out your blog that you've been doing, the X-Men blog that you've been doing. You just had something recent come up for that?
Yeah, I've been every Friday I drop a blog of X article over on the comictom101.com website. They have a little blog tab, and there's a bunch of us posting stuff. There's stuff on The Mandalorian. There's stuff on all different comic related topics. I am the X-Men guy these days, and every Friday I try to post a blog of X. A lot of it lately has been doing with the Sword of Ten, or the Ten of Swords storyline that Hickman's been doing. But I throw in a few things every so often. So there was an article on Magneto recently. So I try to throw in some look backs as well. And as we go along,
maybe I want to do one on leprechauns here at some point. I don't know.
You might have to. Yeah, I like. I think it's good you highlight that since we got all the X-Men fans in the chat right now. So you guys should, if you're not already reading it or haven't checked it out yet, highly recommend.
Thank you.
And yeah, man. All right, guys. So we are going to close that out with some nice, kind words from Beta and everyone else here that's saying some kind words. Always great to see all you guys. And thank you all for hanging out. Whether you're here live or you're catching the replay, we really appreciate your time. So, all right. Well, with that being said, we will see you guys next week, on John's channel, and we are out.